Well, good afternoon. Thank y'all so much for hosting this all-important social outreach and initiative with Medicaid and VA benefits. Before I get started with the slides, just some backdrop, just a real brief backdrop on the gestation of where we are today. We are definitely well within the age of information on demand, along with having fact-based decision-making tools based on real-time data capture, is we've had to develop or have a need to capture the intersection of people, processes, and technology. How can we best use technology to capture the people and their processes of work? We also have to put that with the intersection of, is the culture right for adoption of the technology? And we have a changing culture that is welcome into the technology. Also, the infrastructure has to be there. Do we have even the means or platforms to do such? And finally, the all-important funding aspect, of which is the governor of all outreach programs. So we have gotten those elements together to better collaborate with not only with the federal VA as an advocate for benefits for veterans and their dependents, but also with DHHS and your local Department of Social Services workers in the county. Those are our very close allies in addressing, where's my vet population? Where are the dependents and children? We have outreach relationships and had those relationships for years, where your local veteran service officer, state or county, has strong working relationships with each county's Department of Social Services. We actually have them, as a relationship, identify them on self-identifying when the veteran walks in that I am a veteran on an intake sheet that was used. At that point in time, they would be referred to the county veteran service office or the state service office to sit down and cover the earned entitlements of VA benefits. After which evaluation of the federal VA benefits, they were referred back to the DSS for further processing of application. So for the immediate need, it was just a checkbox on a form to go see your county veteran service officer, not to impede the processing of Medicaid for strict need or urgent need, but there was a reconciliation that would be caught later if they are entitled to VA benefits. Brief thing on VA benefits. VA does have a pension benefit that is only for wartime veterans. And we've been at war since August 2nd, 1990 until further notice. So the wartime veterans, if you're under age 65, you have to be a total disabled veteran, defined by VA Title 38 CFR, definition of total disability. Also, it falls under certain net worth and income limitations as well with VA pension. So having those collaboration points with the Department of Social Services has always been there, but technology wasn't utilized. It was boots on ground, going to visit the offices and having a strong, what they call Rolodex relationship. Now we're going into an age where we're bringing in this thing called CRM, Customer Relationship Management. The Customer Relation Management System is basically, if anyone has shopped at Amazon or any other platform, it's amazing how that system knows you, what you bought, okay? But also the Customer Relation Management tool is used to better and more efficiently case manage. So that's going to lead us to the goals that we're trying to capture here. The goal is to provide outreach to shared customers, veterans and their dependents. We share them with the Department of Social Services. And we need to maximize the products and services provided by not only state Medicaid, but federal VA benefits. It's going to also facilitate the use of fact-based resources to more efficiently and effectively administer outreach programs and efforts providing reliable performance measurements. Okay? So that's what the customer relationship management tool is going to be used for, and we now have a project that has moved into with one aspect of this program into the test environment, and we'll be in production soon to where we can do outreach. The Veteran Case Management System within the CRM is supported by the Veterans Information Platform Project. That's the project that is heading up this. Now, this is through a relationship with what we call it's a government agency, GDAC, Government Data Analytics Center. The state of North Carolina has a Government Data Analytics Center that has resources that we have recently joined, as well as noticing the partnership that the HHS is participating with GDAC as well. So if we're both participating with a Government Data Analytics Center, then it's only natural that we get together and collaborate on a systems level of how to better identify those veterans. Data that will be captured is they're bi-directional, allowing actual real-time updates into the Government Data Analytics Center. Okay. There are two main data sources so far developed within the system. There is the Department, or really the Defense Manpower Data Center, DMDC. That is a clearinghouse for all of the branches of active duty to send their new dischargees with the home of record identified in North Carolina. No longer are they sending out the paper form, DD Form 214s anymore. It's all electronic through DMDC now. So those electronic forms are being provided by Department or the Defense Manpower Data Center. Also, with the Paris Public Assistance Reporting Information System, that is a nationwide system that is used to share data or capture data from the ones who's applying for Medicaid. That information is, as you had indicated earlier by question, the junction point of the two systems. So the information is captured with Medicaid benefits data, and it gives demographics and beneficiary information that is also compared to the VA benefit database to identify those veterans and dependents in an electronic systems manner. So that's the 2 points of integration at that point. Now, this diagram looks a little complex. I'll break it down for you real simple. Defense Manpower Data Center and Paris, those are your two data sources. They go into what they call a vet roster with the GDAC facility, Government Data Analytics Center. There's an integration process for name resolution and identifying with that database, of which those whom are identified as veterans or dependents of veterans are sent out to the CRM that the Department of Military and Veteran Affairs uses to update, first off, the vet roster and also the contact record, veteran entity, and a DMDC entity. So those three tables within the CRM are updated with real-time data capture. Now, provided Paris matching happens or occurs every 3 months, every quarter. So that data is rolled up from the DHHS every quarter, and then the extract table from VA comes in with the matching names. Updates our record. Okay? So the veteran, if the veteran is already identified in the system, then it just updates the record. But what if you have a veteran walking in on your far left? They walk in and that veteran is not either in DMDC's data or in the Medicaid data. That information is going to be captured, make a contact record, and backfill, if you will, bi-directional, update the vet roster. Okay, so that way we can have a full circle of updated information. This is a little more simple of a diagram here. We have Paris and DMDC feed into the process, and there's your three entities that it bi-directionally updates on a quarterly basis. So the next steps, basically we're going to move into, and we've already started processing with data mapping you would imagine these tables needed mapping and name resolution within itself. The data mapping is being done. Creation of business rules. How we're going to handle the data. What information needs to go to what bucket. Business process rules. But finally, the main thing to do, that comes out next is how do we deliver the case management to the field? How do we deliver this? It's done by outreach services being systems generated. So the Dynamics CRM is going to trigger with DMDC's information, update, and goes and updates your vet record, contact record. If there is a need for their own Medicaid and they've been tagged as a certain income threshold, it's going to create a trigger that's going to create the contact record and initiate to your far right column down to initiate Paris Medicaid business flow. Okay, and then the contact record is created, but if they're not on the Medicaid roster or in need with certain triggers, it's just going to update the database, no action taken. But at the bottom right here where it initiates the Paris outreach, this is the best thing about the CRM. This message here will go out to the local veteran service officer based on data from Paris and matching with systems use. It's going to let them know in their work queue that we have a point of contact. We have a veteran or family member that we need to do outreach for. Okay, so it's going to go into that local service officer's work queue. So now we know where our vet population is and where dependents are. So they log into the work queue, identify the location, provide the outreach. The feedback is going to be directly to the response to the work queue itself. So therefore we capture action taken, which is updating and will be updating DHHS's efforts. So now what we used to do with Rolodexes and communication and phones are now going to be utilized with the CRM system, sharing real-time data. So in summation, we have business process flows providing a guide to veteran service officers in the field. The flow represented through normal business processing. It was built around the normal actual business processing that's done today. Individual steps or data entry points have to be typed in or required before the next steps are taken. So that way we're using this system to commandeer capturing the data and action taken. The action taken is associated with the vet record within CRM. It gathers that action taken for reporting. Lastly, various reports are then ran for performance measures and also for forecasting expectations. It is a systems-driven approach using real-time fact-based data. Okay? This is augmenting what's already in place. You're still going to get out there and visit your local DSS office. But those of which are applying on a quarterly basis, we can capture through the parish process itself and provide that outreach on the back end. That's as deep in the woods as I was told to get with technology. I hope that addresses the global area of what we're heading to.